Welcome to the Metagame Minute, your once weekly podcast that is the Chaotic Amateur follow-up talk show.
Oh, okay.
He's doing it, guys. He's got
this
let him go.
Tent, dude. So those of y'all who don't know, like when I was working on Zephyrus and stuff, I was talking with Alex and he goes, "Man, I got this awesome character that I think like we could work in with your character's like sort of warlock backstory and things like that. He's like a traveling djinn. And I think this would work out really good." And, I was really excited when we first met him, and I was really excited to have him tie into the finale and things like that. And here we are in his tent, which is something that, like, from the very beginning, I've been thinking about a lot. Like, and now that we're here, I love the idea of the tent is here, but you can get into it from here or here or here or here or here. And you get inside and you're like, even loves luxury. But it's all like a figment of just like his whimsy. It's like, here you guys. Oh, yeah. And his guy who was like resistant to like your persuasions, Milo. Like, yeah, he wasn't real.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are these, in fact, people that are not real, or are these people that are like illusory projections from places that are real into this tent? You know what I mean? From those respective
that's interesting
places. So
That's
like
really cool
we,
idea.
in fact, could be an allusion to those people in there.
Oh, right.
Like
so
they
if you have
pass
tent
through.
A,
That's
B,
an
and
interesting
C,
idea.
You've got some people in C that are real to everybody in C.
Yeah.
Allusions to A and B.
Right.
And so on.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting take on it.
I'm gonna
Alex?
the first chance I get, I'm gonna try to stab Strummer with my rapier, and we'll find out.
So I know Bob is real. Everyone else, he could be anything.
This is kind of a true. Yeah, this is kind of true of life in general. Is that
Here we go.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
everything could be an illusion, but
Not in
We're all
front of
in
the
the
baby
Matrix.
rat.
if everything,
that's just gonna break
it
his
really
little
doesn't
brain.
matter, right? It's like the Matrix. Ignorance is bliss.
Not in front of
Maybe
Grogu.
somebody
This
important,
steak
like
just
an
tastes
actor.
wonderful.
That's right.
Conan the Barbarian has a quote that I really love.
Oh, here we go.
If life is an illusion, then I'm no less an illusion, and being thus, the illusion's real, and it doesn't matter. I was like, dang.
I mean, that's really
Savage.
true.
Yeah, it's such a good quote. So good. Anyway, this whole tent thing, this whole scene has me really excited. And if you guys are like me, you're fresh off the Mandalorian, and so you're thinking about Jabba's palace, maybe not. Okay.
Jabba and who's Mandalorian?
Let's take it around the horn. Ignoring
Okay.
that question, let's start regular horn order
Sorry, I'm too young.
with Dashel, Mr. Yolov.
Yeah.
Where's
What?
Yolov? Where's Yolov, like, with this magical tent, with this stuff? Has Yolov seen anything like this? Is he
He's
excited, intimidated?
He's definitely read about it. He's probably read about all of these things that he's going to find in the world. He's fascinated by it. He's very curious. He'd like to know how it works. If this wasn't the mission, he'd probably want to sit down with Eben and discuss the finer points of illusory magic and the inner workings of how to make a spell work.
This sounds so much
feeling
like
that-
Ball. Like this character and Ball, I feel like would get along really well.
I was thinking the same
Much
thing.
so,
I found
yeah.
him in a university. I get the feeling, honestly, though, that Yolov is
Shut that kid up.
I feel like Yolov is going to get to ask those questions. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, because I was definitely thinking we sneak in the back and just murder him.
Right. Yeah.
But
I don't
the
know.
Back door didn't work.
It doesn't exist, man.
Yeah. So maybe we will.
Name of your
get a chance to
autobiography,
have a little
right?
conversation and.
Back
hey,
door didn't
how
work.
many of y'all have talked with genies before? Maybe
Yeah.
it's
I
a
mean, this
chance
might be
to-
a good chance to kind of,
Yeah.
like, especially for Yolov, he might get real curious. He'll want to ask him all these interesting questions about, what is it like existing as this powerful being?
And Strummer is a hunter of monstrosities. And if monstrosities could talk, he would definitely ask them how to kill them better. So, like, your questions are valid.
That's all.
Yeah.
Beyond this magic lamp, how else could I capture one of you?
Vondel.
Yeah.
What is Vondel thinking with all this stuff? You had that really helpful magic hut. I think that.
Yeah. I just wanted to flex my power a little bit.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't know if we
were all doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we could, if we were going to take a long rest or like, where we were all at.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, that hut is super fucking useful, and it's like 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome, and like it really can't be fucked with. Like, I mean, I'm sure Alex.
Very
I mean,
difficult,
obviously,
yeah.
It's
It's
can do whatever.
difficult, right, Alex?
But it's very hard to fuck with it, and so I was like, I want that. But since we didn't take a long rest or whatever, it's all good. But that was just more like me being excited to have like actual stuff to do. Whereas like,
what's on the walls in there? What did we see while we were in there?
Oh, we didn't use it.
Oh, dang.
No, we didn't use it because we just spent an hour, and like I'm not going to expel like a 3rd level spell slot just for an hour thing, because it's
come
like
on.
because it's an 8-hour hut, so it's like we could sleep in there basically with a 95% okay, being like, yeah, we're going to be fine,
Yeah.
But I like that. I just used my firearm, took out the air elemental. For me, it was fun. And then like I've never really played a healer. Like I've been like I said last week, like I've been this druid before, but I've never played him as a healer. Like that's always sort of been Milo's character. Like in our games, or like when I was DM, like Milo, like Ren was giving healing, or he was giving luck, or he was giving bless, or whatever. And
I fall into that slot so easily.
Yeah. And so like I kind of like I have these utility things. So like it's unique for me to like be like, hey man, here's some healing, and because I just don't know. So it's fun to do that, and also being super stoned, I realize, especially just playing it as Seth Rogen, just like I'm like, man, no wonder he's so fucking happy and laughing all the time. Like this is amazing. But yeah, I didn't really do much. Like I took a couple swipes, and now we're here, and I figure if we're in this place, I might as well show some respect, because I don't want it to be like, well, you didn't sit down and enjoy my table, and now you all fucking die or whatever. Like, no, so I'm trying to be respectful, but also like I don't want to take the food, because again, like I don't know what it is. So so like that's why I was like, I'm down with like Milo's beverage of choice or whatever. But I'm very excited for what's about to happen.
Yeah. Stormer feels the same way, kind of what Vana was just saying. Like, I think there's like a certain level of respect for Eben. And, if you all listen to the finale, you kind of heard how Stormer got roped into this sort of like Suicide Squad mission. And Stormer does not hunt monsters that are not unworthy of being slayed. So I think that there's, and I don't necessarily know if Eben has like a mutual respect or not. I'm sure like Strummer doesn't even like fall into Eben's radar in a certain way, but I feel like we got into this tent and Strummer is like, oh, this is a creature of rules. This is a creature of habit. This is a creature that, that can be exploited. These rules and habits can be exploited, so I'm kind of excited in that way. And the other things that you heard me say before. Milo.
Yeah, starting off this episode where I was about to fall unconscious and then I rolled poorly and I fell unconscious was awesome. I love that my interaction with my wyvern paid off, and he came back to try and save me. I thought that was so cool. That's just something I love about the way Alex DMs.
Yeah,
without you, it has no access to beer. So
there's all these things that like tie.
Yeah, it can't be the cool wyvern.
These little things that we do that I just said like
got a reputation.
Offhand in the beginning, I'm like, I just want my wyvern to drink with me, and then it comes back in the fighting of the campaign and actually attempts to save me.
you said that you had proficiency in animal handling, right? So like that's such a fun thing, because it's I've I've played D&D for so long, but Alex is the only DM who's ever inspired me to consider taking animal handling as a proficiency.
Well, any proficiency. It seems like any proficiency, I'm like, yeah, I'm proficient in this. There's something Alex is like, oh, well, if you do this, I mean, there could be consequences in the future. And in the previous episode, I had talked to the wyvern and gave him some beer and asked him to carry the cask. And in the next episode, I was saved by that wyvern. I mean, I think that's so cool. I think that's such an awesome thing that our DM provides to us.
You guys are
fun.
Frat boys.
And I've talked about this a little bit, and I know we're kind of running out of time, and we got to get to Caleb still, but it's like the best thing about Dungeons and Dragons that it's such a give and take, and it's like everybody brings their own expectations into the game, and like the best DMs are the ones that like they take your expectations and they roll with it. You know, it's like I think Alex said it maybe during the finale. You know, he said something like, "Look, like." I love rolling the dice, and if that doesn't make you happy, then like lie about the dice rolls, like fake it. I don't care, but I love when I roll low because you never know what the DM's going to do. And Alex is one that like really returns low rolls. He really returns high rolls. He lets the game be a game, and he lets it be fun for everybody. And I know I'm just like
I know it's a huge
like,
jeez, dude,
bro.
Get off of him. He's going to explode from excitement. Jeez.
This is the metagame minute, so I get a metagame and talk about this shit. So.
He's looking for those free crits.
But, like, I'm guilty when I DM for sure of, like, I have an idea of how it's going to go, and I want it to go that way. And, like, sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's not great. And so I think just bouncing off what Milo was saying, it's like, Alex is a DM where you can take those weird skills that don't normally have value in other normal games or different games, I guess, and get value out of them. Get caught by your wyvern and things like that. Caleb, let's close out with you. Vinny went invisible, explored the tent. I thought it was really cool that you tried to look in the back and found just stone. I was like, oh God, it felt like almost like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon in a way,
I think me as a player, I don't, in spite of what it may seem like, I don't like hogging the time. And so I feel guilty, like when I take all these kind of turns, so to speak, to find something out, and it didn't quite get to where we needed it to go. Like I would have loved to, while still invisible, just go around to the front of the tent, but I felt like I was hogging too much of the.
I mean, I bet if you would have went in, like you wouldn't have been able to come back or something. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I probably would have gone invisible, and you guys would have come in after me. But
I think it's the way that we play too, where we're playing to like a time limit and we're trying to fit into like a schedule.
Yeah.
It makes that different. Like I play characters where I was the hog for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
That character that would say he was that kind of character where I would go off on my own and everyone else would just sit there.
And
but we're kind of in a different scenario.
And I do sort of get a chuckle out of Mr. Hear Me Out saying that he doesn't like to hog time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It might seem like I don't, but I am, in spite of how it comes out, I'm always very conscious of it, and I bother myself sometimes when I feel like it's, it's like, okay, this isn't the Caleb show.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but it's totally all good. I love that kind of D&D where your character would do this. It makes sense for them.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that. I
like it too. Also, I am not alone in saying I'm excited by voice character Caleb playing. This is fun because you've not done voice character Caleb. So this is
Let's
enjoy
go.
it while you can.
Next one.
Treading new territory here. So fun.
Enjoy it while you can.
Alex, anything that you want to share with us from the DM's? Alex, anything from the DM's perspective that we should know or that you want to share with the listener?
God, there's a lot of stuff you should know. Yeah, it'd be really helpful information.
Like how do we kill him? Go ahead and just tell the listener.
Stab him a bunch. If you stab him a bunch, he'll die.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Wow. That is really simple.
I gave you a dagger.
You kill him with a wooden stake. So.
Oh God. That seems like it would take a longer time.
What would have happened if I had walked around to the front and just walked in?
I mean, you're seeing what would happen. You're in it now.
Could he have come out?
Yeah, could I turn around and walk out?
That's a good question. And if you knew the answer to that, then you would play the game, the next game a little differently. And so that's why I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, suck it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This has been the Metagame Minute. This is what you get for $1 or more on Patreon.com if you patronize us.
$5
free every single week. We give it to you on Thursdays. We really appreciate it. All of y'all who have been sticking with us, thank you so much. We'll be back on Monday with your regular installment of Chaotic Amateurs, your favorite D&D actual play 5e podcast. Cheers, y'all.